Let's get into the best defensive players in this year's NFL draft. We're going to break down it all. I've got sleepers from day 2 and 3 sleepers. There's some value plays in the late first rounds. I have some rankings for you guys that I think are going to ruffle a few feathers here. Well, let's just start with the edge rushers, man, because this is a loaded edge class. I watched a good amount of them. I didn't watch all of them. I'm not fucking Todd McShay. Okay, I have a 9 to 5. I need bills to pay. I can't sit in my. That's kind of what I did today. I heard the last few weeks. I've been sitting watching edge rushers. Let's talk about some guys. First things first, I've got 13 guys I want to talk about, 14 guys I want to talk about. Here are some guys that I didn't watch too much of, and I'm just going based off of TikTok highlights and Spark Notes and Draft Buzz and all of this stuff. Derek Moore, Michigan, 10 sacks, 2 forced fumbles in 2025. Really solid bull rusher. This is like a day 3 guy. Can have a hand in the dirt, can be a stand-up edge rusher off the edge, but he's a one-trick pony, and that's a lot of. There's very few edge rushers in this year's draft that have multiple ways they can attack you. Like there's a lot of speed guys, there's a lot of straight bull guys. There's very few combo speed to power combo guys, and we will get into them. Joshua Joseph, the edge out of Tennessee, dominated by Caden Proctor. And if you know anything about Caden Proctor, if you listen to yesterday's episode, his tape is fucking awful. The guy's an athletic freak, but he can't block. And Joshua Joseph's got dominated. He's slow off the line, doesn't have good edge, and he doesn't have that much of a power rush either. So I'm out on Joshua Joseph. He's probably going to be a day 3, day 4, or day 3, round 4 type of guy. I'm not in on Joshua Joseph, but he's a guy that's getting buzz for some reason. So you have to talk about him. I have Romello Heights. He cracks my top 12. 10 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, attacks the ball, man. He's always looking to get a forced fumble. He only had 2 of them, but I swear he's always looking to peanut punch somebody. 94 percentile and higher for Romello Heights in his broad jump and his vertical, and the explosion shows up, man. He is just bouncing off the line of scrimmage. Really fast hands. Not a good tackler. Like, he's in the right position, but he can't finish that well. Again, he attacks the ball. He hit this Euro step move on Caleb Lomu that was absolutely sick. He has good bend. He's a freak athlete. He plays with his hair on fire. He had some good tape against Spencer Fano, and Caleb Lomu. Matched up more on Lomu more than Fano and got the best of Lomu more than Fano. But those are 2 NFL first-round tackles, and he was productive. So Romello Heights is a guy in the middle rounds, or in the 3. He's probably going to be a second-round pick or a third-round pick, and I would be all here for it. I have Keldrick Falk at 11, ladies and gentlemen. I don't see it with this guy. He is a good edge rusher, and he has the longest arms ever. He's 6'6", 276, and those numbers sound great, whatever. The tape is not good. The pass rushing is not there. He can set the edge against the run at a really good level, but there are other guys in this draft class, other edge rushers in this draft class that can set the edge at a really high level, but also have a pass rush move they can put to memory. Like, for a guy that has the traits that he does, how does he only have 10 sacks over 3 seasons? How did he only have 2 sacks last season? I didn't see a single pressure against fucking Arkansas. They won 2 games last year. The one play where he maybe got a pressure, Taylor Green stepped up in the pocket and he ran away from him anyway. Falk didn't even make the play, and Taylor Green scrambled for like 10 yards. Like, he's tackling the wrong defender on multiple reads in the read option. He has bad eye discipline. He sets the edge. That's all he does. He sets the edge, but he doesn't have pass rush win. He doesn't have a high pass rush win rate. There's other players in this draft, other edge rushers that can set the edge. And yes, they don't have the ceiling Keldrick Falk has, but you'll notice something very common with me over these next few, as we get deeper into this episode: production over fucking potential. Okay. And if you have this really high ceiling, like Arvo Reese's production wasn't that great as an edge rusher, but it's still fucking there. Like, you see it. Okay, you don't fucking see it with Keldrick Falk. I don't know what these people are watching. And again, I don't have access to all the tape. I watch like 3-4 games of the guy, and then I move the fuck on. And if I don't see it over 3 games, then I know you don't fucking have it, especially against Arkansas. Like, I try to watch these players against the best comp if they have those videos on YouTube, which they most of the time they do, because why would they waste their time putting up, Romello Heights against West Virginia, which is that, ironically enough, that actually is a thing. But Texas Tech blew the brakes off West Virginia. That's neither here nor there. Number 10, I have Zion Young, one-trick pony Young. That's what we call him. Zion, bull rush, hands in your chest, drive you back Young. But like Keldrick Falk, he's really good at setting the edge because of his 6'5" frame, good long arms, hunts the ball too. And he's got a really high motor, good engine, captain, highly respected in that locker room per Todd McShay. And not that he's in the locker room, but he has sources I don't. Did have a DUI, did have some problems at Michigan State apparently. Fierce. tenacity, gets his hands on you, drives you back. His pad level stays below yours. He's a really, really solid player. He sets the edge well. High ceiling if he can learn a pass rush move, if he can learn, a chop, if he can learn a little rip, if he can do a spin move, that would work wonders for Zion Young. But I have him at 10. TJ Parker, similar with Zion Young, and this is going off of a lot of 2024 tape because it wasn't that good in 2025, but he's a TFL machine. TJ Parker had 39 tackles for loss since 2023, which is second in the FBS. Only FBS player with 5 forced fumbles and 5 fumble recoveries over the last 2 years. This is a guy that finds the fucking football and forces fumbles. Yet to see him win with bend and speed around the edge, though. Like Zion Young, just a straight bull rush type of guy, but he created a little bit more turnovers. He had more ball skills. So I say ball skills. I'm stuck. I just finished watching the DBs. He had more. He had more. He found the football. He had a nose for the football more than Zion Young. Give me TJ Parker at 9. Cassius Howell at 8. This was a guy I was really bullish on just watching Texas A&M because I watched a good amount of Texas A&M last year. The further we got into the process, like this guy feasted against like Utah State. He had 3 sacks in a row, and he was just working the left tackle. He feasted against LSU, but LSU had a couple of backup tackles against the good comp that Texas A&M played. Like, where was he against Texas? And Texas has two NFL tackles next year, and he was non-existent. Against better comp, he kind of disappeared a little bit, and he's not good in the run game. A little bit undersized. 2 sacks in the first half against LSU, like I said, but those one on the left, one on the right side, but those were against 2 true freshmen. And he does have great bend. He's going to be a situational pass rusher. I think a team like Tennessee or a team like San Francisco, a team that just recycles edge rushers in and needs some speed off the edge could use him, but he's a really situational type of guy. Would only be there on passing downs because he is a little bit of a liability, but man, is he good in those situations. He's going to produce second in the SEC in sacks with 11.5. He's going to get his numbers. He's going to get sacks. He's going to get to the quarterback. He's going to get upfield. You can't trust him against the run. But in pure passing down scenarios, this dude is an absolute monster, man. Monster. Mason Thomas I have at 7. This guy can do it all, man. This guy can do it all, but he's not exactly elite at anything. He can set the edge at a really, really high level. He had a lot of production his senior year, 6'2", 241. So a little bit he's not giving you the size of a Zion Young or the size of a Keldrick Falk, but he's still not undersized. 6.5 sacks, 15.5 sacks over the last 2 seasons, 2 forced fumbles, 26 TFLs. He is a beast. No, 26 tackles, not TFLs. He is a beast against the run, man. He gets upfield so fast. He has some speed and bend to him. He also has a little bit of bull rush to him. Like I said, there's not a lot of power to speed or speed to power guys in this year's crop of edge rushers, especially when you get to the depth of it, like R. Mason Thomas is. This guy genuinely has speed to power. He needs a bigger toolbox of some pass rush moves. But if your team lands Mason Thomas, I think you're getting a day 1 starter because of how good he is against the run. He sets the edge at a really, really high level, forces everything inside, and that's good. That's good, especially when you have the sack production and the pressure rates that he does have on a really good Oklahoma defensive line or offensive line. Or defensive line, excuse me. He's going to be a really solid player. I think he can be a day one, 3 down type of guy. Number 6, Gabe Jacas, however you say his name. All-state wrestler, 11 sacks in 2024, 3 forced fumbles, great hand placement, great variety in his pass rush moves and his counter moves. Captain of the team, locker room guy per Todd McShay. 8 sacks, 13 tackles for loss his junior year as well. So back-to-back years with really, really solid production. We're taking production over potential, man. We really are. And he's not going to be this elite speed rush type of guy off the edge. That's just not in his game, but he has a relentless motor. He gets up in your face. He drives you back. His pad level stays below yours. 6'3.5", 260, so he's got good enough size. 3 forced fumbles as well. The production is just off the charts. He can't drop in coverage. He's an absolute liability. He's a little bit slower in pass coverage. Inconsistent against the run as well, which does cap his floor a little bit, cap his ceiling as a 3-down guy. But again, it can be refined. You can tell he wrestled because of his grip strength. Once he gets his hands on tackles, he just fucking moves them. And I love watching him. He was fun. He was a fun player to watch. I have him as a sleeper. I have him highlighted in the blue. He's not really a sleeper though. But I have guys highlighted in blue on my note sheet. They're highlighted in blue. I think they're going to be really solid players. And at number 5, I think Malachi Lawrence might be one of the biggest steals in the second round. 6'4", 253, 7 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 28 tackles last year, 7.5 sacks as a sophomore as well, dealt with some injuries, and that's where the real concern is. And same thing with, I think, R. Mason Thomas has some real concerns, a couple of ankle sprains over the past 2 seasons, and he has really good flexion in his ankles. Like that's why he can get the corner so well. Same thing with Malachi Lawrence. I mean, insane bend, insane first step off the line of scrimmage. Good rip, good spin move. He just has a full variety, full toolbox of pass rush moves and counter moves that he can use. Not great against the run, inconsistent tackler, but really, really polished. One of the more polished edge rushers in this year's class. Malachi Lawrence and Gabe Yakas are going to be two guys that I love a lot in the second round. At number 4, I have Akeem Mesidor. I've talked about this guy. Sets the edge really well in the run game. I think his tape was as good not as good, but it was really, really solid in comparison to Rueben Baines. Like both of them would converge at the quarterback. They'd meet at the quarterback a whole lot. 6'3", 265, good get off, active hands, 2 sacks in the natty. Great pass rusher, great hand, great power to speed combo. We don't have a lot of guys like that. Good bend, good finisher. The dude's the whole package. He can play a 3 technique too as well if needed, like he did at West Virginia. He is 25. That's the only caveat, but the tape is really good last year. I think he should be a first rounder, no doubt. Arvell Reese, I have as the 3rd best edge, just strictly off of polish, but he has the highest ceiling out of all of them. Legitimate sideline to sideline speed, legitimate bend. And I watched him break down one of his pass rushes with Ben Solak, who works for ESPN. And the dude was like, yeah, I didn't even realize this was a move. I was just going based off feel. And yeah. So I didn't know this was a move, but I set the tackle up to think it was a bull rush, and then I came back with a rip, and then went around in the corner in a speed rush. And I didn't even realize I was going off a feel. I didn't even realize that's what I was doing. Once this guy gets a plan on how he's going to attack each tackle, every single pass rush down, look the fuck out. He's going to be a monster. David Bailey at 2, and oh, he's so nasty, dude. David Bailey is so nasty. Same thing with Rueben Bain. Rueben Bain, power, man. Power, power, power. For a guy that doesn't have that has short arms, allegedly, he has such strong hands that he can push you right back into the quarterback's lap. Insane bend around the edge. Violent tackler in the run game. Sheds blocks, so strong. Arm length doesn't seem to be a problem in the run defense. He sets the edge. Great in bull rush scenarios. Great in speed, good power speed guy, and David Bailey too. He's my sire. I have Rueben Bain slightly above David Bailey, but David Bailey, great power, good finisher, great speed, shows up on tape, sheds, blocks quickly, power, speed, has it all, plethora of pass rush moves and counter moves. Those are your 2 1A, 1B in this year's class for sure, in my opinion. Let's talk about the interior now. Let's talk about the big guys in the middle. And there's a couple big guys on here that I'm so bullish on. Let's start off with at the top. Caden McDonald is the best interior defensive lineman in this year's class. Absolute hole stuffer, nasty and run fit, traditional nose tackle, Vince Wilfork type. Give me all of the hands. I'm going to push you back into the quarterback's lap, and I'm going to open up gaps for the guys behind me to come make plays. And Boyd and Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles make a fuck ton of plays, and Arvell Reese make a fuck ton of plays. He was the anchor. He was the guy doing all the dirty work for that Ohio State defense last year. He's the best interior defensive lineman in this year's draft. Peter Woods at 2. I understand didn't exactly live up to the hype, but with only 2 sacks and 30 tackles, but he sheds blocks so fast. He can line up on the edge as well. Very versatile player. Strong hands, man. Once he gets his hands on you, look out. And I like guys that just move people, and this guy fucking moves people. And you know who moves people as well? The 3rd best interior defensive lineman, and he could be higher, man. This guy's ceiling is unbelievable. He just needs to stay in shape. Like, the dude just fucking fat, and he gets tired, and his pad level raises. Like, I swear, you could watch him in the first quarter, and then watch him at the end of the first half, and then watch him at the beginning of the second half, and then watch him in the fourth quarter. His pad level just raises increasingly the more he gets fatigued because he's a lazy sack of fuck. But Lee Hunter is a dog, bro. I love Lee Hunter. I want the Jets to take Lee Hunter in the second round so bad, depending on what corners are there as well. But 33.5 tackles for loss since 2023. That's first in FBS amongst defensive tackles. 12.5 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks, 19 QB pressures in 2025. Unbelievable. This dude is a baller, bro. A baller. 6'3", 318. And if he gets his hands on you, he's tackling you. He's just incredibly strong. And if he gets his hands on you and you're an offensive guard or a center and you don't have another set of hands with you, he's driving you back and he's putting you right on top of the quarterback's head, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it. He is so nasty, but he's lazy, bro. He's just lazy. Like, he gives up on plays so quickly. If the play's not going his way, he's not trying to chase anybody down. His pad level can get high the more tired he gets, and he just doesn't make as good of an impact down the stretch. Like, I forgot to mention, R. Mason Thomas, by the way, like 4 of his 6 sacks last year came in the fourth quarter. Like, that's a guy that finishes games. Like, Lee Hunter, his tape is so, there's some nasty, nasty shit on there, but then he's just tired and he's lazy and it's so annoying. Like, if this guy would just stay off the Twinkies, go on the treadmill, lose some functional weight, or lose some non-functional weight, gain some functional muscle mass, this guy could be fucking nasty, bro. But I don't know if he wants it, and that bothers me. Number 4, you're not gonna expect this name, Dante Corleone out of Cincinnati, only 6 foot, 340 pounds. The dude is a fat lard, man, but he's so short that he's gonna have lower pad level than any player on the field at all times, especially on the offensive line, because these guys are 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". He's gonna win the leverage battle every single time, and you see that. And he moves so quickly for being 340. Like, his jump off the line of scrimmage, like, he gets up in people's grills, and he can just sidestep you in 2 seconds. And he's smaller too, so even if he doesn't sidestep you and he gets under you, he's moving you wherever the fuck he wants because he's under you. He wins the leverage battle every time because he's so small and he's quicker for a guy at 340 than you would expect. He needs to lose some weight though. He's fat. There's rumors of him being 355, 360 at 6 feet tall. That's just ridiculous. And that's probably why he's falling down some boards, because he needs some more functional weight. He needs to lose the bad weight, and he can be disgusting, man. Nasty first step quickness, dude. It's for a guy that's 340, he doesn't get moved off his spot either, so he holds the line of scrimmage. He's always moving the line of scrimmage backwards as well. Wide ass base, big fat ass, 340 pounds, always lower than you because he's 6 feet tall. Then I have Christian Miller from Georgia, who I was relatively unimpressed with. Like, I didn't see it. Maybe it was just the few games that I watched where I didn't see it, but only 1.5 sack. He's slow, but he has active hands, and he's really good against the run. It's hard to move this guy off of his spot, but he's not exactly moving the line of scrimmage backwards, which is good it opens up holes he stays out of CJ Allen's way for him to come and fill gaps, and CJ Allen does a terrific job at doing that. But Christian Miller is probably one of the best run defenders on the interior, but he doesn't offer anything as a pass rush. Not a lot of strength in his punch. Against Texas, he had the 2 NFL tackles that are going to be in next year's draft handled him just fine. He's fat and slow, man. He really is, but not as fat as Lee Hunter. Makes a little to no impact on the pocket with the bull rush. Never stops hand fighting, though. He just never stops hand fighting. He has a counter move for every move. He doesn't move off his spot. He's a run defender at heart. Highest graded run defender in the draft at the interior defensive line position. I have him at 5. This is a name that's high up here, man, and that is Damone Capehart. I don't know how to say his name. Damone Capehart, the defensive tackle for Clemson, tested as one of the most athletically gifted defensive linemen in combine history. Really fast hands and first step. Strong, man. Really, really strong. Really high motor as well. Only 12 starts in college, which is the real concern with him. But he's going to be a 3rd round guy, 4th round guy. Whoever gets this guy's getting a really high ceiling. He ran a 4.840 at 315 pounds. Let me get this guy's RAS in front of me real quick, too, because it's just absolutely ridiculous how athletic this guy is. I wish I put his time and his measurements in my notes just so I could have, I could get to it quicker and I wouldn't have to just filibuster like this right now. But I'm telling you, this dude is going to be an absolute fucking steal. 247 or NFL Draft Buzz, which is a website I frequent, but I just use it for to get some measurables and it's a good place to have. I don't agree with some of the rankings. Like, they have Avion Terrell as the 3rd best corner. I don't fucking see it like that. And we'll get to the corners momentarily. But let's see here. He was in Damone Capehart. Everybody talks about Peter Woods out of Clemson, but he might not even be the best defensive tackle from Clemson, because Damone Capehart is in the 92nd percentile with his vertical, 93 percentile with his 40, 91 percentile with his height. He's a 74 percentile in his 10-yard split in his 40-yard dash. And the dude wasn't on the field a lot, but every time he's on the field, he just packs a sick punch. He has a really, really good first step, dominant bull rush. He just moves people. He just moves people out of the way, and that's why I fucking love this guy, Damone Capehart. And then at 7, I have Grayson Halton, who's another guy. That's my sleeper, by the way. Damone Capehart's a sleeper. Grayson Halton is another sleeper out of Oklahoma. 33 tackles, 2 pass breakups, 3.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 8.5 sacks last 2 seasons as an interior D lineman. Good burst off the line of scrimmage. Really, really good burst. He's always in the guard's grill before they even have a second to react. He gets upfield really, really fast, captain of the team, but he's falling a lot because he's short-armed and his hand placement can be sketchy. Caleb Proctor, defensive lineman from FCS, projected third-round grade. Good first step, and these FCS guys, the Shrine Bowl, the Senior Bowl, they mean a lot, and he dominated at the Shrine Bowl. So keep an eye on Caleb Proctor. Undersized at 280, with not a lot of length, so that's going to hurt him as well. And he dominated FCS comp, but again, it's FCS comp, very scheme dependent, can be elite in the right fit to utilize his pass rushing ability. That's at least what the notes had on him. I didn't fucking watch that guy for a second, but I want to give some love to the FCSs. The off-ball linebackers we talked about, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles. I mean, I'll save my breath. The dude's unbelievable. He's probably the best off-ball linebacker prospect in this year's class. I have Cincinnati's Jake Gaudet over CJ Allen, over Jacob Rodriguez, over the kid from Texas as well, over Kyle Lewis, over Aiden Fisher. And those guys are just not relevant names. But, well, Kyle Lewis might be. But Jake Gaudet is my favorite sleeper in this entire draft. He's probably going to go in the third round. 6'4", 240, 35-inch vertical, 10.5-inch broad jump. Just an absolute athletic freak. Both of those are in the 89th percentile and higher. 104 tackles, third in the Big 12, first team all Big 12, was in pass coverage for 42% of his defensive snaps. He was a 0-star recruit from Central Arkansas, worked his way up to a really, really good role. Only a 10% missed tackle rate over 5 seasons. That's ridiculous. The dude just doesn't miss tackles. 105 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. He takes really, really good angles. I've never seen him take a bad angle. Very good form tackler. He's always around the football, too. Good in pass coverage. Made plays on Travis Hunter in open space back in 2024. I kid you not. He's unbelievable. I have him over CJ Allen. And CJ Allen's a better run defender. CJ Allen shoots gaps at a way higher level, but he misses more tackles than Gaudet does. He just missed so many more tackles. He doesn't take as good of angles. He's not as fast as Gaudet is, but he's a good sideline to sideline guy. No impact in the passing game. And Gaudet is just way better. And he, like, the gap between Allen and Gaudet in run fit is not as big as the gap between Allen and Gaudet in pass against the pass. So I like Gaudet a whole lot. He was a lot of fun to watch on tape. Flies all over the field. And I think Jacob Rodriguez is a little bit overrated, man. He seems a little slow. He's really physical at the point of attack. And I understand the 40 times it doesn't say that he's slow, but on tape he looks a little slow. In pass coverage, sometimes he just doesn't get enough depth. There's a few broken coverages in the game against Kansas. Inconsistent eye discipline. Smart player. He is a smart player, but the eye discipline is inconsistent. You could tell when he knows the play because he jumps shit really, really fast. He played behind a defensive line that has 4 NFL players. He played behind a defensive line that's probably going to have 3 players go in the top 100 and 2 players potentially in the first round. 1 player in the top 5. Like, he played behind a really, really elite defensive line with a really good running game. I think number 13 was more impressive on tape than Jacob Rodriguez was. I don't even know that guy's name. So I'm not as high on Jacob Rodriguez as my 4th best off-ball linebacker. Some other guys you need to know about. Harold Perkins is the most polarizing player to me in this year's draft. I think he has elite upside. He was an all SEC player as a freshman, but that was at a defensive end. What kind of coach has an all SEC player at the defensive end and then moves him to off-ball linebacker? I don't understand that for a second. All SEC as a freshman, 7.5 sacks, 13 tackles for loss. And you know what? Let's move him to off-ball linebacker. I think there was definitely a little bit of an identity crisis with what to do with Harold Perkins. I don't think LSU knew what to do with him, which is crazy because he was elite. Just let him do what you were doing when he first got there. Hard hitter, man. He hits so hard. He's sideline to sideline speed. Brian Kelly is just a clown with the way that he managed Harold Perkins. Keep the guy on the edge. This guy has the versatility of an Arvell Reese, but you're going to get him in round 4 because he showed really good upside. He was all SEC as a freshman off the edge. And you moved him to off-ball linebacker, and he was still really, really productive, but it was a position he had to learn. So, yeah, he's going to have some bad angles. He's going to miss some tackles. He's going to shoot some gaps incorrectly. But he's an aggressive... and the highlight of him as an off-ball linebacker is when he's fucking rushing the passer because he was an insane blitzer. So, I think Harold Perkins is a really, really high upside guy who you can throw on the edge. He's a little bit undersized for an edge rusher, but he's going to give you that speed and bend off the edge at 6'1", 225. He is a beast, bro. I don't understand. There is a little bit of concerns that he doesn't have as much burst after his ACL tear in 2024, but he's 97th in percentile in his 40-yard dash. He ran a 4.45. Harold Perkins is a fucking dog. He's a steal. in the later rounds. Kyle Lewis is another linebacker to look out for. Freak athlete in the 90th percentile or better in the vertical, in the broad jump, in the 40, 75% or better in the 3-cone and in the 10-yard split. He's just a little bit undersized, so he's not going to be able to, like, he just gets blocked. Like offensive linemen get their hands on him in the ACC, by the way. This guy went to Pitt. In the ACC, and they just toss him out of the way. Like, he's going to be a slot linebacker, like a nickel linebacker. He's really good in pass coverage. Like, that's his calling card. That's where he thrives. But he can't shed blocks. Linemen toss him around. He can't read an RPO. But there's definitely a team that can find a use for his versatility and his athleticism and his ability in pass coverage in the NFL level. So I think he'll have a fine career doing that. And I think he's worth a shot in the 3rd round. If you can find a good scheme fit for him, the dude can be unbelievable. And yeah, let's get into these corners, bro. Let's get into these corners. My number 1 corner in this year's draft is easily Mansoor Delane. He's better than Jamal McCoy. I'm tired of pretending he's not. I don't even have Jamal McCoy as my CB2, so let's stay tuned here. Delane's incredibly sticky in coverage, and he gets his head around to the football when the ball's in the air to make a play on the football. Good ball skills, good tackler, physical tackler, not afraid of contact like some of these other soft guys in this class, Avion Terrell. Fast, smart, quick play recognition, really good tackler, high motor, everything you want in a first-round corner. At 2, the second best corner in this draft is not Jamad McCoy. It is Chris Johnson out of San Diego State. 9 pass breakups, 4 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, allowed 18 catches, 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 16 passer rating when targeted, a 31% completion percentage when targeted, 2nd team All-American, and San Diego State defense was one of the best in the Mountain West last season. Elite production, but then it's like, all right, it's in the Mountain West. But then he has elite production, and he has a 93rd percentile RAS, which is a relative athletic score. He couldn't have had a better offseason. I don't think anybody's stock has climbed as much as Chris Johnson's. And then you turn on the tape, and it's everything you want. It's eye discipline. It's really good form tackling. It's really good mirroring in man-to-man coverage. He flips his hips really well. He's a dog, man. He can lose ground in zone coverage a little bit, like QBs can move him with his eyes. Like, the eye discipline is a little bit sus, but that's the only real weakness. I think he's a really good form tackler, great timing when he's breaking on balls, when he's breaking on routes, really good mirroring off the line of scrimmage. He's a dog, bro. And then I have Jamad McCoy, but there's like, he didn't play. He could have played. He could have came back. He didn't. Fine business decision. He could have participated in the Senior Bowl. He didn't. He could have participated in the draft, and he didn't. He ran at his pro day, ran in the 4.3s. There's definitely a lot of injury concerns. I'm not an injury concern guy, but his tape is really good. I mean, he had 8 penalties in 2024, and he didn't play the whole year, which is a little bit concerning, especially when you watch it and you see he's always in the right position. Like, he's really sticky in coverage, but he still needs to refine some of his technique in terms of getting his head around and finding the football. And that's the difference between him, Chris Johnson, and Mansoor Delane in my eyes. But again, I'm really bullish on Chris Johnson. At number 4, I have D'Angelo Ponds. He is blue. He's been my favorite prospect since I started watching these guys. Undersized, but great technique there. There's not a better technical corner in this year's draft. Hands to hands, great tackler, had good reps against Jeremiah fucking Smith. He tackled Mark Fletcher, who's 6'4". He's not afraid of contact. But then again, Jeremiah Smith was able to box Ponds out on a few plays, but he got virtually nothing in terms of separation against D'Angelo Ponds in the college football playoff. He's the most technically sound corner in this year's draft. Not afraid to punch above his weight class. Tackled Mark Fletcher one-on-one multiple times in the national championship. D'Angelo Ponds, 11 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, but he's like 5'4", which sucks. But he's unbelievable. If he was 6'1", he'd be the greatest corner of all time. He is a dog. I don't care. The tape says he's good, and he did it against NFL comp. That's good enough for me, man. That's good enough for fucking me, bro. I don't care. He did it against the best competition that is going to be playing in the NFL. He did it against Omar Cooper. He did it against Elijah Surratt. He did it against Jeremiah fucking Smith. He did it against Carnell Tate. What more do you need out of what he did against Malachi Field? Like, what more do you fucking need from D'Angelo Ponds to be like, yeah, that guy's legit? He did it against Malik Benson, the Corian Moore. Like, he's a fucking dog. He's a beast. He's the best corner fundamentally in this draft, but he just doesn't have the size and measurables to have that elite ceiling. But he played an elite level against some of the best competition in college football, against NFL guys in college football. Why are you pretending like he's not? Like, he's more technically sound than... I'm not gonna do it. But he is unbelievable. I think he's a steal for whoever gets him. He's my favorite sleeper in the entire draft. Brandon Cease at 5, 6 foot 191, touchdown allowed in 2025. 5 pass breakups, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble. Physical, fiery press man corner. I like this guy a lot, man. He's gonna get in your face. He's gonna lock you up, and then he's gonna fucking let you know. Great hip fluidity, really solid in man coverage. Really similar to Chris Johnson and their ability to mirror defenders or mirror receivers in man coverage, their ability to flip their hips. Brandon Cease, really good ball skills as well. Not as disciplined as Johnson. And that's what it comes down to. He bites on the double moves. He's gambling with the ball in the air. Not that disciplined in zone coverage at all either. He's going to be a press man corner. He's want to get his hands on you. Fiery player, plays with emotion. I love that. And my another favorite, one of my most favorite sleepers in this year's draft, Julian Neal out of Arkansas. This is a guy who's feast or famine, right? He's gonna bite on the double moves, but the rest of the game he's not gonna allow a reception. He locked up Malachi Fields. He was locking up Jeremy Bernard a little bit. Very impressive in press man coverage versus Malachi Fields, who is a bigger receiver. Locked that dude up. I mean, that guy did not get a second of separation. Had good reps against Jeremy Bernard. One textbook rep where he's in phase, gets his head around to the football, goes in, dives, pass breakup in the end zone against Jeremy Bernard. It's nasty. Physical tackler. That's the calling card for him is what he can do in run fit. Could get flagged for holding a little bit. He's physical in coverage, but it's not in the way like he panics when the ball's in the air. He hand fights a lot, which is why he has so much success against a guy like Malachi Fields, who's a bigger receiver. He risks it going for the ball. Like he goes for the big play, he goes for the interception. That could lead to some big plays. But otherwise, his technique needs a little bit of refinement. He needs a little bit more eye discipline. He's going to be a really good player at the next level. I love Julian Neal a lot. At 7, I have Keith Abney out of Arizona State. 5'10", 187 pounds. A little bit undersized, but the production is really there. And this is another guy that's just really, really fiery, kind of like Brandon Cease. 12 pass breakups, 1 sack. 41 passer rating when targeted, so that's really low. A little bit small, 5'10", 187, but again, I don't care about size if the technique is good, and the technique is really, really good. 13 flags, though. Really physical player over the last 2 seasons. 13 flags. Got to get those numbers down. Bites on double moves a lot. Not great in run support. Really good ball skills, though. High pointing the ball, forcing pass breakups, getting some interceptions. Not really, but more in like he's not big enough where he can moss somebody and win at the catch point, but he finds the ball well when it's in the air to break that shit up. He's a good player. I have Colton Hood at 8. I'm not that high on Colton Hood. Ryan Williams beat him off the line of scrimmage consistently, and I thought he lost that matchup all day. Lacks eye discipline, not the greatest in press man coverage, walking pass interference penalty. I don't see the hype with Colton Hood personally, and I definitely don't see the hype with Avion Terrell, who I have ranked as my 9th best cornerback on the board. Not physical at the catch point, gets boxed out consistently. He's good in phase at times. Again, like he can run with fast receivers down the field, but bad angles on tackles, scared of contact, easily blocked, low motor, good break speed. He breaks on balls well. I'm just not in the Avion Terrell. He played like a little pussy to me, respectfully. Number 10, I have no, I don't have Daylen Everette at number 10. The rest of these guys are a little bit out of order, but these are just some other guys that I think will be going in the 3rd round. Devin Moore is a really interesting one out of Florida. A lot of injuries, but the size is there, man. 6'4", 200 pounds, 4.5 speed. Really, really good tackler. Really physical at the line of scrimmage. Didn't allow a reception against Miami. That's Malachi Toney, C.J. Daniels. A lot of zone coverage. Allowed receptions on over half of his targets, though, which is not ideal. Only 1 year as a starter and 4 years of college. A lot of injuries, but he's got good ball skills. He picked off Carson Beck in 2024. I'm in zone coverage. Really good build. High ceiling, low floor, Nashawn Wright type of guy with the 6'4", low 5.5 speed. He could be a real problem out of Florida. Keontae Scott, safety corner hybrid, obviously had the pick against Indiana. Was it Indiana? My brain's not, or Ohio State. Ohio State, excuse me. He's often in good position, and he shed blocks well for a cornerback against bigger defenders. Good ball skills. Will Lee is a guy out of Texas A&M who has ideal frame, 6'4", 190, fast twitch, weak at the catch point, though. Like for his size, he gets mossed a lot. Got mossed against LSU. Great position, hand on the ball, just not strong enough to get his hand through it and force a pass breakup. He can't tackle, not physical, but he's a guy that I think will go in the mid rounds and has the tools to be a good receiver. And then Daylen Everette out of Georgia is another guy I think will go in the top three rounds, maybe early 4th. 50 tackles, 10 pass breakups, 1 interception, small. He gets bodied a lot for his one. I mean, he's not small, but he plays small. Touchdown allowed against Texas. He just got moved off the line of scrimmage, just absolutely moved out of the way. Will struggle against physical receivers, can't play press man a whole lot, can't press anybody at the line of scrimmage. Never gives up on the play, though. He's always looking for the football. High motor, bad tackler, mid-ball skills. And those are the cornerbacks of this year's draft. Let's talk about the safeties really, really quick. I'm not as high on Emmanuel McNeil-Warren out of Toledo. I think he's really good ball skills, but he's inconsistent tackler. He gets high in his pad level gets high when he drops back. And again, it wasn't against the greatest competition. And I still think he's worth a 2nd round pick because of the upside. But I really love AJ Halsey. He's another sleeper for me out of LSU. not a good athlete, and that's why he's going to drop, but incredibly smart player, really physical. I mean, the boomstick compilation is just next level, man. He just kills guys, absolutely obliterates. Number 81 for Alabama, and what is a clean shoulder pad to football. See you fucking later. Good night, Jim Kite type of hit. Good, smart player as well, according to the internet. Some guy was like, yeah, I talked to him. All he does is prepare, prepare, prepare. And it shows up on tape. Really good ball skills as well. 4 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, 88 tackles, 1 forced a fumble against Caden Lee and Ole Miss at the goal line. The dude's a dog, man. Really smart player. Really good in run fit as well. He's a beast. Traden Stukes, quarterback slash safety combo, probably had the number 1 interception. I'm sure if you're on NFL Draft TikTok or Instagram, you've seen the interception a gazillion times against Arizona State, where he tracks all the way over the field, then mosses the receiver. 4'3", 40, slim frame, good man-to-man. He's a corner, but I think he's going to project more as like a nickel safety in that Kyle Hamilton, Nick Warrior role that is just really, really valuable. Good processing, ability to go along with the athletic traits. He's really tall and long. I think he's a steal at wherever he goes in the third round. Dylan Bynum and Caleb Downs, without a doubt, your 2 first-rounders. Those guys are unbelievable. Make sure you subscribe. Go check out my offensive video. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. And go check out my full 3-round mock draft. I love you guys. If you're listening on Spotify, I love you guys as well. I'll talk to you guys on the next episode of the Spire Sports Takes podcast.